Do you remember those days when you would go to school and when you came back home, there was no one at home? You were alone. You did your work yourself, like heating up food, doing your homework, hanging your uniform, etc. This is not just a memory. This is the foundation of your psychological development. Today we will talk about the psychology of Generation X, real psychology, because how you are, you didn't become that randomly at all. In psychology, there is a concept that we call attachment theory. This tells us that the relationship we have with our parents in childhood, that shapes the entire personality. But if we talk about Gen X, that generation who were born between the 1970s and 80s, what happened with them? In the 1970s and 80s, the divorce rate increased, economic pressure increased, due to which both parents had to work. And the result? Latchkey kids, those children who had house keys, who came home alone. When a child repeatedly experiences this, that I am alone, I have to handle myself, then a specific attachment style develops, which we call avoidant attachment. This means that you don't like to depend on anyone. You try to do every work yourself, and this is not weakness, but a survival mechanism. Your brain learns that rather than depending on someone, it's better I become strong myself. And even today, this pattern is in your personality. Now let's talk about brain plasticity. Gen X spent childhood in the analog world, then became young in the digital world. This is not just a technology difference. This is a cognitive shift. Research says that people who see major technological transitions, their cognitive flexibility is more. You understand old methods, and at the same time adopt new methods. You are a bridge. Psychologically, this is adaptive intelligence, a very rare trait. But how is Gen X emotionally? Research says low emotional expressiveness, high emotional regulation. You feel emotions deeply, but don't express easily. Why? Because you had to learn self-soothing in childhood. When there was no one to give comfort, you had to learn to calm yourself. In psychology, this is called internal locus of control, meaning you believe in yourself that I can handle my emotions myself. And this is stoicism. This is emotional resilience. But here there is also a caution. Suppressing too much can become bottling up, which can prove risky for mental health. In psychology, there is a concept, learned helplessness. When a person starts to believe, I can't do anything in my life. But in Gen X, the opposite developed, learned agency. You believe, if I try, then the problem will be solved, and I can control my own life. Why? Because you had repeated experiences in childhood where you had to find solutions yourself. TV broken? Try to fix it yourself. Had to face problem in homework? Then you found its solution in the library. If ever got into a fight? Then you sorted out that problem yourself. Every time your brain received this message, I can handle this. That's why entrepreneurial mindset is more in Gen X. That's why you take risks. Don't get scared of problems. Along with this, Gen X has trust issues. But what is the psychological reason for this? What did Gen X see in the 1970s and 80s, due to which they don't trust anyone quickly? Number 1. Watergate scandal. Trust in government broke. Number 2. Economic recession. Job security ended. Number 3. Divorce rates. Family structure unstable. Number 4. Corporate layoffs. Company loyalty had no meaning. In psychology, this is called erosion of institutional trust. When systems repeatedly fail, then the brain develops a defense mechanism which we call skepticism. This is not cynicism. This is protective cognition. Moderate skepticism is actually healthy. It saves you from bad decisions. If we talk about motivation, in psychology there are two types of motivation. Extrinsic, rewards from outside, money, recognition. Intrinsic, satisfaction from inside, personal growth, mastery. Gen X is intrinsically motivated. You do work because you like it, and you want to grow. You learned. No one is watching, but I still have to do it. This is self-driven excellence. And this is more sustainable because even without external validation, you remain motivated. If we talk about relationships, what does Gen X value in relationships? You always made real friends, face-to-face, no filters. In psychology, this is called deep social bonds versus weak social ties. Social media has made more weak ties. There are 500 friends online, but there is no real connection with anyone. But Gen X has some such friends with whom they have been connected for years, whom they trust. This is selective socialization, and psychologically, this is more healthy. So this was the psychology of Generation X. And all this didn't happen randomly. This is the result of psychological development. What you are, You are that because your environment and experiences made you like this. And when you understand your psychology, then you can maximize your strengths and remove your weaknesses. So if you are Gen X and you are psychologically unique, then definitely tell in the comments which concept you found most relatable. Like and share, because understanding psychology is important.